The cost of badly graded, damaged and bruised potatoes is unnecessarily high, and together with accidents can be reduced. This DVD will help you.
Every year agricultural workers are seriously injured or even killed on farms during the harvesting and grading of potatoes. We know many of these accidents could be avoided if workers were aware of the risks and followed the guidance shown in this DVD. Although your employer is ultimately responsible for your health and safety, in practice you yourselves are often best placed to make your workplace safer. I'm confident that by learning and following this good practice guidance, you could greatly reduce the risk of an accident happening to you or one of your team. Remember, it's your life, your health and safety. Don't risk it.
All those involved in the grading of potatoes should receive training, instruction and demonstration for their jobs and appropriate records kept. If you do not know what you are supposed to do or how to do it, ask your supervisor. Personal protective equipment, PPE, may be required where no other means to avoid hazards are possible. All those involved in grading operations should wear high visibility jackets. Grading workers should also wear gloves and non-slip footwear. Supervisors, forklift and other bulk potato handlers should wear safety boots. Head, ear, eye and lung protection should be available and used as required by risk assessments. Managers and supervisors are responsible for supplying suitable PPE and ensuring that it is used properly. All guards should be fitted, secured and inspected regularly. Any safety interlocks should be tested regularly. Start up, stop and audio-visual warning devices should be fitted, tested and effective. Grading workers must understand the warnings and know how to operate the emergency stop systems. A full complement of hazard and warning signs and symbols should be displayed. Machinery should be inspected and maintained in accordance with the manufacturer's guidance and by competent persons. A grader faults log should be maintained to help with maintenance. Grader settings should match the crop variety, condition, bruising assessment and harvest conditions so as to meet the customer specification. The grading line should be run clear and inspected when changing varieties. There are many areas in which crop quality or human safety may be at risk. Haulm rollers, webs, belts and elevators, getting run over or crushed, box fillers, electric shock and crop contamination. If the haulm rollers become blocked and must be cleared manually, then the following procedure should apply. Under the supervision of an authorised person, the grader, or if safe, just the haulm roller drives should be switched off. The power supply should be isolated in such a way as to prevent accidental or uncommanded activation. Ideally, isolators should be locked off with a key-operated device by the person carrying out the roller clearance, who should retain the key. The haulm roller should be accessed by the safest possible means available, taking particular care in wet conditions. When cleared, any guard should be replaced and secured, and the isolators unlocked by the key holder. The authorised person should check that everyone is clear and restart the grader to test for proper haulm separation. High visibility jackets should be worn by everyone involved in grading operations. Pedestrians should be separated from forklift trucks, tractors and trailers. This can be achieved by a combination of physical barriers, floor-marked walkways, hazard signs and symbols. Vehicles should be fitted with effective and frequently tested hazard beacons and reversing bleepers. Drivers and grading workers should be made aware of the hazards and supervised to ensure separation. Grader webs, belts and elevators are generally exposed, and although slow-moving, they may feed devices such as rollers that are not. Free long hair and loose clothing should be avoided, as they can become trapped. If blockages or foreign objects occur on webs, belts or elevators that must be cleared by hand, then the following procedure should be followed. The drives of the grader, or if safe, just the affected part, should be switched off and the power supply isolated. The isolators should be secured against accidental or uncommanded activation, ideally with a key-operated device by the person who accesses the machinery and who should retain the key. The web, belt or elevator should be accessed by the safest means available, taking particular care in wet conditions. Any guards should be replaced and secured after the problem has been resolved. The isolators should be unlocked by the key holder and the drivers switched on by an authorised person to test for proper operation. Trailer drivers should be assisted by signalling helpers, guide markings, video cameras, proximity devices or wheel traps as appropriate to make discharge as safe as possible. Care during discharge will reduce the risk of bruising the crop, and drivers should be familiar with the contents of the BPC Trailer Driver Checklist in the library section of this DVD. Automatic box fillers are dangerous devices and should carry hazard signs and symbols. They should be inspected and maintained in accordance with the manufacturer's guidance. Access to box filler areas should be restricted to individuals trained in working with them. Position guides and sensors should be used to ensure accurate, safe box positioning. Box fillers should be equipped with emergency stop, load sensors and safety interlocks that should be tested regularly. If manual levelling of box loads should be carried out, then this requires caution as the movements of the box filler and forklifts are significant hazards. Automated solutions are available and should be considered. Forklift drivers should be trained and authorised. Forklifts should be equipped with hazard beacons and audio-visual reversing warning devices. Drivers should wear high-visibility jackets, safety boots and head protection. They should be under the control of the grading line supervisor. Forklifts should be separated from pedestrian areas by physical barriers, signs, floor-marked operating zones as appropriate. Slips, trips and falls are common occurrences on grading lines. Grading workers should wear suitable non-slip footwear, and all pedestrian areas must be kept clean and clear of obstacles. Suitable handrails, guardrails, non-slip surfaces and access equipment should be provided, kept clean and in good order. Accidents with drives are usually the result of working on moving parts with guards raised or removed. Drives should be inspected, maintained and repaired by competent persons, following manufacturer's guidelines. If drives must be accessed, then the following procedure should be followed. The drives of the grader, or if safe, just the affected drive, should be switched off and the power supply isolated by an authorised person. The isolators should be secured against accidental or uncommanded activation, ideally with a key operated device, by the person who accesses the machinery and who should retain the key. The drive should be accessed by the safest means available, taking particular care in wet conditions. Any guards should be replaced and secured after the problem has been resolved. The isolator should be unlocked by the key holder and the drive switched on by an authorised person to test for proper operation. Grader electrical installations and control should meet the current specification, installation and maintenance standards. Electrical power and particularly high voltage three-phase supplies are dangerous, and all electrical fixtures should carry hazard signs and symbols. Emergency stop and isolation switches should be tested regularly and positioned for easy access. Isolators should be key operated. Trailing power cables should be avoided as far as is practical. Where they must be used, they should be of a suitable standard and inspected regularly for damage, particularly where vehicles are operating and in the case of mobile in-field graders using separate generator units. The inspection, maintenance and repair of electrical systems and components should only be carried out by competent persons following manufacturer's guidance. Leaking oil or hydraulic fluid, glass and other foreign bodies from machinery or grading workers can contaminate the crop. Everyone is responsible for spotting such problems and reporting them to their supervisor. Grading should cease and any suspect loads must be stopped without delay. Grading should only proceed once the contamination has been removed. In-field night grading faces the same hazards as daytime operations, but the risks are greater due to the reduced visibility. All those involved must be specifically instructed in the special problems of night grading and the precautions they must take. high visibility jackets should be worn. Appropriate levels of illumination must be provided for harvesting tasks such as picking. Particular care should be taken when grading workers are getting on or off the grader, especially when tractors, trailers and forklifts are manoeuvring. Thank you for watching this DVD, which we hope will help you to work more safely and minimise damage to the crop. Follow the on-screen instructions for the test. You may retake the test with or without viewing the DVD as often as you wish. Just follow the on-screen instructions. You may print out a certificate that shows that you have viewed the DVD and taken the test. It will not show your test results. Please ensure that the certificate is signed, dated and kept in a safe place.